God's language is beyond comprehension. If God speaks, it may not be in grammar or syntax. It may be in the cry of a newborn, or the silence between two people who understand, or the wind blowing through a broken window. It could be the memory that returns just when you need it. To us, it may sound unintelligible because we expect clarity. But clarity is a human craving. God may prefer resonance, a language that doesn't explain, but transforms. Heaven of contradiction. If heaven is real, and if God dwells there, it may be less a place of answers and more a sanctuary of paradox. It may be a place where mercy and justice coexist, like eternity and immediacy folded into one breath. A lion lying down with a lamb, not because nature changed, but because love did. Contradiction isn't chaos. It's the architecture of mystery. It's how opposites hold hands without canceling each other. It's how grief and joy can share the same song. Heaven is in the child who sings through sorrow, in the soldier who forgives, in the ending that doesn't resolve but endures. That's divine contradiction. That's the unintelligible language of grace. Music as primordial force. Before language, there was rhythm, the heartbeat, the breath, and the lullaby. Music predates speech. It's the first communion. Harmony is contradiction resolved. It is a dissonance yearning for resolution, and the tension that breaks into beauty. It's a sound of opposites agreeing to coexist. Creation through vibration. In many traditions, the universe begins with sound. Oam, logos, the word. Not a blueprint, but a tone. The creator we forgot. Music doesn't demand belief or argue. It enters through the body, bypasses the intellect, and rearranges the soul. It's the whisper speaking behind the wind, and the pulse beneath the silence. It's how memory sings, how grief dances, how love endures. Music, the true voice of God beyond words. In the beginning, there was vibration. Before the word, before the law, before the naming of things, there was sound, unformed, unspoken, but felt. Music, not language, may be the first and truest voice of God. It does not explain. It does not argue. It does not divide. It simply is a presence that moves through silence, shaping emotion, memory, and meaning without ever needing to be understood. Beyond language, beyond logic. Language is a tool of division. It carves the world into categories and separates subject from object and demands clarity where mystery once lived. But music resists this. It speaks in tones, not terms. It carries contradiction without collapse. A minor chord can hold sorrow and beauty at once. A dissonance can ache toward resolution without ever arriving. In music, paradox is not a problem. It's the point. If God is love and love is contradiction, mercy and justice, silence and speech, eternity and immediacy, then music is the only medium vast enough to contain it. It does not flatten contradiction into coherence. It harmonizes it. The divine pulse. Across cultures and centuries, music has been the language of the sacred. The chant, the hymn, the drumbeat are all attempts to echo the divine rhythm. In the Hebrew Bible, God speaks through thunder and whisper. In Hindu cosmology, the universe begins with Om. In Christian tradition, the Spirit descends not with speech, but with a rushing wind. These are not words. They are sounds. They are music. Even silence in music is not absence, it is breath. It is a space that allows the note to matter. In this way, music teaches us the holiness of restraint, the sanctity of pause, the eloquence of what cannot be said, the human echo. To sing is to risk vulnerability. To play is to enter time. Music is not static. It is lived, felt, and heard. It is the closest we come to touching the eternal while remaining mortal. It is how grief finds voice, how joy dances, how memory returns. It is how love endures when words fail. Conclusion, the unfinished song. Music does not resolve. It reverberates and leaves us trembling, not certain. And perhaps that is the truest voice of God, not the answer, but the presence, not the perfection, but the pulse, not the word, but the song. Music's perfection lies in its paradox. Music embraces dissonance. A minor chord aches. A suspended note yearns. Yet these tensions are not flaws, they're the soul of harmony. Music doesn't resolve contradiction by erasing it. It lets it resonate. It defies argument. You can debate a lyric, but not a melody. You can critique a performance, but not the feeling it evokes. Music bypasses logic and enters the body. It's not a proposition, it's a presence. It's universally felt, but uniquely heard. One song can mean grief to one person and joy to another. That multiplicity isn't imperfection, it's the heart. Music as divine contradiction. If God speaks in music, then perhaps perfection is not the absence of contradiction, but the ability to hold it without collapse. Music does this. It's the only language where opposites, silence and sound, tension and release, sorrow and beauty, coexist without needing to be reconciled. So yes, music may be perfect, but not because it cannot be contradicted. Rather, because it welcomes contradiction and turns it into grace. Beneath theory, the secret mathematics of music. 1. Waveforms and harmonics. Every note is a wave and every harmony is a collision of frequencies. The overtone series, where a single vibrating string produces multiple resonant pitches, is pure math in motion. It's why a cello sounds rich, why a choir can shimmer. These aren't just musical effects, they're ratios, patterns, echoes of the universe's own vibration. 2. Fibonaccian form. Many composers, intentionally or not, structure music around the golden ratio or Fibonacci sequence. It's found in phrase length, phrase lengths, climactic placement, rhythmic pacing. The result? Music that feels right, not because of theory, but because it mirrors nature's own proportion, spirals, shells, galaxies. 3. Fractals and repetition. Minimalist composers like Steve Reich and Philip Glass use recursive patterns, musical fractals. A motif repeats, shifts, evolves. It's math as meditation. But even folk songs and spirituals carry this. Repetition with variation like breath. 4. Chaos and order. Improvisation, jazz, blues, even birdsong, often dances on the edge of chaos. Yet it obeys hidden constraints. Tonal centers, rhythmic cycles, emotional arcs. It's stochastic math, not random noise. The unpredictability is patterned. 5. Emotion as algorithm. This is the deepest mystery. Why certain intervals evoke longing, why a modulation can feel like hope. There's no formula for this, but there's a pattern, a math of memory, a logic of the heart. Music as the universe remembering itself. If the cosmos began with vibration, then music is its echo, not just theory, but truth, felt, not solved. Music is the math that doesn't flatten, it lifts. We are music in motion, rhythmic, resonant, imperfectly tuned, and utterly alive. The body is song. The heartbeat is a steady percussion. It is the first rhythm we know. It begins before thought and continues without conscious permission. Music is in the breath, a wind instrument, rising and falling like tides. Inhale, exhale, a melody of survival. We are a series of neural pulses. We are electrical signals firing in patterns, preforming a symphony of memory. We dance. Even our stillness has posture, tension, and grace. We sway, stumble, stretch a dance choreographed by emotion and gravity. We are not static beings. We vibrate. Every cell hums, with gesture and echoes. Even pain has a pitch. Even silence has a tone, dancing through the universe. Physics agrees that everything is vibration. String theory suggests that the fundamental particles of the universe are not points, but vibrating strings, tiny musical notes composing reality. We are not separate from the cosmos. We are its chorus. And if music is the true voice of God, then our bodies are not just vessels, they are verses. We don't just live in the universe. We sing through it.